In this report, I share the costs to retire in Bodrum, Turkey, including rents, utilities, groceries, restaurants, transportation, and other expenses for low to middle range living costs. If you've been following me for years, you know I stay on the positive side of life. I see life through rose-colored glasses. In general, I only share places that I love or I believe you will love, even if it's not right for me. Today, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to share what I learned with my feet on the ground in Bodrum, Turkey. Then I'll share how to avoid some of the headaches other foreigners report experiencing in Bodrum. But don't count out Turkey completely. Soon I will show another town we visited in Turkey that didn't seem to have as many headaches. Subscribe now and ring the bell so that video pops up when it goes live. I will show you video Chung and I took here in Bodrum as I continue. If this is the first you have heard of us, you can browse hundreds of Retired Cheap reports all over the world on our Vagabond a Week YouTube playlist. They are organized by country. Okay, Bodrum is stunningly beautiful like many other places in Turkey. The water is gorgeous and the central part of the tourist area is beautifully maintained. We just loved walking around Bodrum waterfront and enjoying the beautiful boats and scenery. In this report, I'll share my retirement desirability factors such as visa, medical, walkability, internet, food, weather, things to do, social considerations, expat community, real estate, and my overall retirement desirability score. But first, I want to share my estimated cost of living converted into US dollars if the two of us moved to Bodrum, Turkey year-round on a tight budget. We'll also include more typical expenses that other expats would spend to give you another data point. Okay, estimated cost to retire in Bodrum, Turkey. I found this furnished one-bedroom apartment advertised for 20K Turkish lira per month, which is 584 US dollars for a long-term lease agreement. If you rent for a shorter period of time on Airbnb, it would be more expensive. If you rent a larger home or townhouse long-term, the rent would be higher, starting around 1,000 USD per month on up, depending upon area and size. Here's the process we use to find great apartments. So we'll show you a table of all expenses in a moment. We'll use $584 per month for our lower rent estimate and $1,000 per month for the middle cost of living estimate for expats who want more space. Okay, utilities. We estimate that the year-round average for our utilities would be around 48 US dollars per month. Utilities would cost more for the larger space, starting at around 82 US dollars per month. When possible, we would purchase fruits and vegetables from the farmers market, small shops, and street vendors to save money. But we would also shop in grocery stores for non-perishable foods and other things like shampoo and detergents. We estimate around $360 per month for groceries. Other expats are likely to shop more often in expensive grocery stores and less often in the farmers market, often spending more than $470 per month on groceries. Restaurants. We would eat out twice per week, mostly in more local style restaurants, a few blocks back from the beach, averaging 8 to 10 or even 12 US dollars per meal per person, and 1 or 2 splurges per month of 14 to 18 US dollars per meal per person. If you add all that up, we would spend around $280 per month for the two of us in restaurants. We may have a beer here and there, but that's covered below in alcohol. Other expats are likely to eat more Western style foods in expensive expat style restaurants and less in the local style restaurants. So they would likely spend more like $380 per month for 2 people in restaurants. It is lifestyle dependent. I'll explain some of the techniques that a few of the waterfront restaurants use to overcharge you in Bodrum below. So make sure to learn about that so you know what to watch out for. Okay, that'll be in a few minutes. Cell phone data. The cost to get a prepaid SIM card for your unlocked smartphone is about 38 US per month. which is almost 4 times as much as other towns in Turkey will charge you for a similar service. You pay 38 US in Bodrum for a service that will cost you around 12 bucks per month in other towns in Turkey. I'll explain how to avoid that also. Other expat couples are likely to buy 2 prepaid SIM cards, so they would spend 76 US dollars per month. Laundry. Our apartment in Bodrum had a washing machine, and our grocery prices included the cost of laundry soap, so no extra charge for laundry. Drinking water. We didn't see reverse osmosis delivery in 20-liter jugs here, so we'd probably get a Brita water filter for the refrigerator. The filter refills would be around 5 bucks US per month. Internet, 60 megabits per second up and down is about 18 US dollars for in-home Wi-Fi. Bodrum has, for transportation, Bodrum has the 𝗏𝗲 bus system, which are mini buses. Simply wave your hand to stop them, and the cost is less than 50 cents US when you jump on. The central part was all walkable, so we didn't ride the buses or taxis while we were here. We did take a taxi from the ferry port. We arrived from Athens by ferry. We took that taxi to our accommodations for 230 Turkish lira, which is $6.72 US. We also took a taxi for 350 Turkish lira, which is $10.22 US, to the larger inner city bus station when we left Bodrum to go to Fethiye. In both cases, the taxis use the meter, so that doesn't seem to be a problem in Bodrum. We estimate about $20 per month for taxis. Other expats might spend more riding taxis, so I estimate around 60 bucks a month for them. We probably would just use it when we bought a lot of groceries and didn't want to try to walk home with it. Alcohol, which is optional, of course. Domestic beer in grocery stores in Bodrum are about 72 Turkish lira, which is $2.10. In bars and restaurants, the domestic beer ranges from a happy hour low of 80 Turkish lira, which is $2.34, to a high of about 180 Turkish lira, which is $5.26 once the happy hour is over. So we estimate about 160 per month on alcohol for the two of us. Many other expats would spend a higher amount for imported foreign or craft beers in the expat bars, so 220 US per month for 2 people, assuming they are not into imported whiskey or wine. Entertainment, which is optional. We budget around 200 per month for entertainment for the two of us. We generally enjoy doing more do-it-yourself kinds of entertainment, so expats would spend a little more, maybe 300 per month for 2 of them. Okay, let's add it all up. Estimated cost to retire in Bodrum, Turkey. If you'd like my free ebook about how I fired my boss and traveled the world for 17 years and how I pay for things, come to Vagabond Buddha and grab the free ebook. Rents, for the lower estimate, $584. Utilities, $48. Groceries, $360 US. Restaurants, $280. Cell data, $38. Laundry, $0. Drinking water, $5. Internet, $18, and transportation, $20 US. Add that all up for your basic costs. You're looking at $1,353 per month. Add optional alcohol of $160 or $1,513, and add that optional entertainment, it puts you at $1,713. For the middle range, with that rent we talked about, the higher rent of $1,000 and the higher utilities, groceries, and restaurants, and more cell data, you would be at $2,091 US dollars per month for basic costs. Add $300 for alcohol, which is optional, it'll put you at $2,391. Add $300 more for entertainment, you'd be at $2,691 per month for the middle range costs for 2 people. We gathered this data with our feet on the ground here in September of 2024. The above lower estimated cost of living would be if the 2 of us lived in Bodrum, Turkey on a tight budget. The middle estimate is just an example of what other expats might spend if they moved here. To understand what it would cost you to live here, you must put your feet on the ground, see how you would choose to live, eat, and entertain yourself, and add it all up. It doesn't matter what anyone else spends because we are all different. Bodrum Turkey, livability factors. After sharing my livability factors, I'll share how to avoid some of the headaches tourists have experienced in Bodrum. Okay, before you move anywhere outside your home country, make sure to create a list of things that you must have for your happy retirement. Here are my livability factors, and I will rank each as high, medium, or low before assigning an overall retirement desirability score to Bodrum. Walkability, I would say high. Unless it's raining, we would walk everywhere in Bodrum. Bodrum is so centralized that we would rarely need to walk more than 20 minutes to get where we needed for everyday purposes. Internet, I would say high. The in-home Wi-Fi in our apartment was 33 megabits per second down and 18 megabits per second up. Good enough for us to do Zoom calls, upload YouTube videos, and watch Netflix. We're also able to use our cell phones as hotspots when we're out of the house together, so that's why we only needed one SIM card. Food, medium. In most of the world, the restaurants on the water are priced higher than restaurants away from the water a few blocks away. That is true here also. You will find small family-owned restaurants in neighborhoods a few blocks back with dishes for $5 to $10 US, but not on the water. If we lived here, we would have a tendency to cook more at home than we would in other parts of the world in order to keep our total food budget within reasons. Some of the restaurants in the tourist areas have predatory behavior, not all of them. I'll explain how to avoid that behavior in a moment. Weather, I would say high. Daily highs average 58 Fahrenheit, which is 14 Celsius in January. That's the coldest daytime high, up to 89 Fahrenheit, which is in July, which is 36, I think, Celsius. Nightly lows average from 49 Fahrenheit to 9 Celsius in January, to 74 Fahrenheit to 23 Celsius at night in July. The sea next to the city keeps it cooler than interior cities in the summer. The best time to come is June through September. The rainy season is November through February. Things to do, I would say medium. Bodrum's highly focused on tourism, which can be a good or bad thing depending on your perspective. Being around people on holiday can be good because they're excited and want to try new things, party, have fun, and spend money. But it can be bad because it tends to force prices higher. Besides obvious tourist things like island hopping, swimming, scuba, and water sports, there's live music, people watching, nightlife, beach life, cultural tours, coffee shops, shopping, and a bit of ancient history, which you can access yourself or go on tours. Social consideration. English is widely spoken in Bodrum, especially in the tourist-facing businesses. The people are very friendly and helpful. I don't believe you'll face any additional challenges because you're a foreigner once you learn how to avoid the headaches I'll share below. Safety considerations. Crime is fairly rare in Bodrum and is mostly limited to petty crime. Nothing valuable should be in an unsecured pocket, front or back, and don't leave valuables out in the open. Here are my thoughts on how to remain safe all over the world. Also, the U.S., there's a link for that, my tricks for safety. The U.S. State Department issues travel advisories for each part of the world, which you should be aware of. Turkey is a level 2 right now. Exercise increased caution. We often travel to level 2 locations, so this is not a concern for us, but you should be aware of it nevertheless. Expat community. Here are a few Facebook pages that cater explicitly to English-speaking expats living in Bodrum and other parts of Turkey. These online expat communities with links provided are great for learning all about things that expats want to learn when they first move overseas. You'll often find that someone has answered your question already recently, so don't waste their time by asking it again before searching for and reading the already answered questions. Medical, I would say medium. The Health International Comparison Index link provided ranks Turkey 63rd in the world, 6 spots better than the United States, which is ranked 69th. There are different ways healthcare is rated, but this one seems to be considering quality of care in relation to what patients are charged. If you decide to move here, make sure to ask around for referrals and establish relationships with doctors for your special needs based on the feedback you have gotten from others who have used their services. The above expat Facebook pages may be a good source for that information. Of course, the best hospitals are often in larger cities or capital cities, so you may need to go to Istanbul for medical problems from time to time. Tourist visa. The Turkish government now has an 𝗕visa webpage that both Chung and I used to determine that we did not need an 𝗕visa when we flew to Turkey. But you should check before you fly. Link provided, because rules change all the time. Many countries, including Americans and Malaysians, can fly and stay in Turkey for 90 days upon entry. We had an exit flight and accommodations ready to show officials upon entry, but they did not ask to see either. They stamped both of our passports, allowing 90 days upon entry. Okay, retirement visa. There's no retirement visa for Turkey. On paper, there are several visas available, but the one that seems to still work efficiently is called the property purchase visa. But you have to be careful to make sure that you pick a property that fulfills the minimum requirements and qualifies. According to this source, the minimum purchase price is now $200,000 for residency. If you decide to use the source link I just showed, please complete your own due diligence. I do not know this source personally. Turkey also has marriage visas, family visas, and student visas, work visas, language course visas, and business visas, but they're delayed and refused often, so do not seem to be as dependable. However, the right immigration lawyer may be able to thread the needle for you for any of these visas. Rather than promoting any particular immigration lawyer I read about online, I would request a referral to a lawyer on one of the expat Facebook pages I shared above. I would ask the expats for an immigration lawyer who they have already successfully used to get their own residence permits in Turkey. I would not pay someone to help get me residency until I have confirmation from an expat who used their services to successfully gain residency. Okay, real estate. Apparently, foreigners can own real estate in Turkey if they follow the appropriate procedures, as previously mentioned. I found this apartment online for $175,000 US, well outside the central area of Bodrum. The prices are expensive in Bodrum. I would not buy real estate in a foreign country until I've lived there for an extended period of time, making sure I loved it after the honeymoon period. I would also hire a lawyer who has no conflict of interest with me. Do not use a lawyer recommended by your real estate broker or your local lover. I would seek a referral from an expat who's used that lawyer's services to successfully buy real estate in Turkey. Okay, Bodrum Turkey, overall desirability score. I would say medium. I love the natural beauty of Bodrum, but the high level of tourism here would be more than I would want to deal with on a daily basis. But subscribe now, because the next place I share in Turkey seems more livable than this from my perspective. However, if you really love Bodrum, I have a few ideas about how to make it more bearable for daily life. Okay, here we go. How to avoid the Bodrum tourism headaches. There are great restaurants in Bodrum, and there are predatory restaurants in Bodrum. If you don't take the time to figure out the good ones, you might be disappointed. Let me explain. Restaurants. You have to read the Google reviews before you sit down at any restaurant. A restaurant, even with a 4.5 overall score, could be a predatory restaurant. So you have to click the reviews and then click the lowest level reviews button on a restaurant to read the Google reviews to understand what other tourists are complaining about that restaurant, if they in fact are. The main idea here is if a restaurant has a recent bad reviews about price, quality, or other predatory behavior, then do not eat there. Here are the types of comments you may see if you click the lowest reviews button on a predatory restaurant. This is not an actual restaurant. These are not actual comments. These are just examples that we saw when we were reviewing before we ate anywhere. Okay, here's a predatory behavior. The waiter asked the tourist, I would like, would you like bread, as he delivered the tourist entree. The tourists thought the bread would be free since the entree was 20 bucks and it was just a couple rolls. But the waiter charged him 6 euros more for 2 small bread rolls. Solution: assume everything is 3 or 4 or 5 times more than it should reasonably be when you don't know what it costs. Ask to see the menu before you say yes to anything. Ask, is the bread included with my entree? Okay, another predatory behavior. The waiter asks, would you like a glass of house wine with that? Solution: the wine might cost 12 to 15 euros. So ask to see the menu before you say yes to anything. Predatory behavior. The waiter asks if I would like potatoes or salad with my 30 euros entree. You should reply, which one is included with my 30 euros entree and which one costs more? Find out, make them commit. Okay, another predatory behavior. You order a beer and a Red Bull without asking the price, and the bill comes back to 27 euros. Solution: never order anything in Bodrum until you see the printed price on the menu. Okay, predatory behavior. You order 25 euro entree and the bill comes back for 36 euros. You complain and the waiter says, sorry, that was last year's menu. I gave you by accident. With inflation here now, that dish is actually 36 euros. Solution: when you're handed a menu in any restaurant in Bodrum, ask if all of the prices on the menu are correct. Okay, another predatory behavior. As you ask for the check and it says you can pay in Turkish lira or euros, but when you get home and calculate the exchange rate done by the restaurant, it turns out the conversion was wrong and they charge you an extra 10 euros. Never pay in euros until you check the conversion rate from Turkish lira in advance. Okay, the best solution. No matter how great restaurant score is on Google, click the lowest reviews button and read how other people were treated and do not patronize any of these predatory behaviors. There are enough honest restaurants in Bodrum to keep everyone happy. There's no good reason to pay people to treat you poorly. Okay, what about SIM cards? You read online that you can get a local Turkish SIM card for about 12 bucks US for 30 days with 30 gigabytes of data. But when you start visiting SIM card sellers in Bodrum, they all want $38 for a 30-day SIM card with 30 gigabytes. You show the online advertisement that says the 30-day SIM card for tourists is 12 bucks, but all the SIM sellers say they can charge you whatever they want. After 5 stores, they're all giving you the same $38 US price. You give up because you know you don't want to eat at any of these restaurants until you have a SIM card in your phone and can Google the restaurant reviews. Solution: buy the SIM card when you land in Istanbul before you take your second flight to Bodrum. Okay, click the video in the upper right-hand corner of the screen right now if you'd like to know my top 15 places in the entire world to retire cheap in paradise.